Hello everybody, so for those who find my video without going through my website, let me introduce myself. My name is Gilles Ortubise, and my name as a self-taught and multidisciplinary scientist and inventor is Gilles Ortubise, and I am the owner and the founder of the first human multi-intelligence.com. So, the title of this video is a process which is responsible for force formation of new atoms at once and for force formation of a new proton or new neutron or new pair of proton-neutron. Then. So I keep continue in the article which I published today on my website. So the paragraph is, as you can find too, so in the article of the black hole 404, but of course in the way than the black hole, it is in reality black celestial sphere. But so in this article, you can find this paragraph. So I read, also when elementary particles are sucked or forcibly swallowed by a black celestial sphere of all size, they find themselves joining the central floating container of the black celestial sphere, which is that of hydrogen. When one of them is not forcibly captured and en route to form a proton or neutron of one of the other 93 species of natural occurring chemical elements. And why? Because their volume is among the smallest, and because the internal pressure of the black celestial sphere and throughout its life is the highest of all gravitational objects in the universe. Also, according to a source that has been accepted by particle physicists so far, according to them, they are up to 61 species of elementary particles. And so far, I agree with this, and I respect their works. So it's a good work, and I accept that. On the other hand, and regardless of whatever there are 61 species elementary particle or not, what is certain is that there are a certain number of elementary particles which serve to forcibly form a proton, and that one of them is of only one of species for each of the 94 species of natural chemical elements, in order to avoid a mixtures between them when one of them is joined by force to another or to others to form a proton, because there is only one unique set of particles for the force formation of each species of proton for each of the 94 species of natural chemical element. On the other hand, taking into account that a proton is composed of 3 particles which are 2 U quarks and 1 quark and 1 d quark. So for a proton, that a neutron is made up to 3 particles, which is 2 d quark and 1 U quark, and taking into account that an atoms of boron, which 10b, for example, it's composed of, among of other things, 5 5 protons and 5 neutrons. So when a proton or a neutron form forcibly inside the floating container of hydrogen, it stays there. And when a proton binds forcibly to a neutron, it forms a first proton-neutron pair of one of the 94 species of chemical natural elements. And the fact that the central containing floating container may contain a small percentage of hydrogen proton-neutron pair. This results in all the first proton-neutron pairs of the 94 species, well, the 93 other species of natural chemical elements remaining in the central floating container of hydrogen. Of course, the first pair of proton-neutron, the first proton-neutron pairs of hydrogen, they stay in the middle, in the container of the hydrogen. But even for the other 93 species of natural chemical elements. But when the first proton-neutron pairs of one of the other 93 of natural chemical elements forcibly binds an additional neutron, it forms a proton pair that is forcibly bounded to an additional neutron of one of the other 93 species of natural chemical elements. And this results in, because of the highest internal pressure of any objects in the universe and throughout of its life, being that of the black celestial sphere of any size, to force this trio out to the central floating container of hydrogen to enter by force into the floating container of helium. Subsequently, when an atom begins to be assembled by force and part by part, starting from the construction of its central nucleus, the increase in its volume as the consequences of making it move from a floating container to another and to its final destination of its floating container. When the forced reunion of a sufficient amount of its atomic parts is completed, they're going right through to their corresponding floating container. So yeah, so that's good for this video, and I continue to explain some other things in the next video. So thank you and have a nice day.